Alright, so I thought I'd try something new today and try explaining some of this stuff from the actual device. I think these videos are limited to 5 minutes apiece, so I'm going to try to go fast here, just catch you up on where the project has been, where it is, and where it's heading. So, I stopped working on, well, I didn't stop, but I shifted most of the development from the actual framework to the actual app, the 3D modeling app, because a lot of the building blocks I need to make this stuff work have been, taken care of, so I'm really stoked about that. So I started building some actual UI, and I'm starting to try to put the actual app together. So I have, like menu controllers that follow where your eyes are looking, and you can actually now create a brand new Verto Studio scene file, and much like I had with the bouncy balls, you could place that in the world, adjust it, mess with its size, and then, finally actually create a scene. But now I actually have a toolbar UI pop up that you can actually use, and it sort of follows where you're looking. Got to adjust it a little bit more, but you can use that to actually get started working on your actual 3D scene file. So one of the first challenges I had to deal with was how to make sure that the rendering latency was always reasonable, so that I don't do anything that could block the main rendering thread. So the challenge I had with that is that if I add a 3D model, I need to raycast into the world and determine A, if I hit an object at all, and B, exactly where I hit it, so that the gaze cursor always kind of hugs that 3D surface regardless of how many polygons are in it. So I had to deal with a whole can of worms that I didn't plan on opening when I wrote the original Verto Studio library for the app, which was that everything now has to be able to handle multiple threads. I need to be able to raycast into the 3D scene from one thread while another thread is continuously rendering that scene. So all of that deadlocking, I guess you could say synchronization stuff that I've talked about in my 3D threading videos, that all came into play hardcore for this. I had to really make sure that I did not screw up the thread safety, because if you make a mistake with that kind of code, you might not find it for a really long time. So I did a lot of work towards that area, which was huge. Basically, deciding which parts could be accessed concurrently between two threads and then which parts needed locks to work. So that was a really big hurdle that I had to overcome. Another thing that was really fun to work on was actually finally getting a chance to start building out some of my UI and actually start having some of the stuff that I'm doing, actually have an interface around it. So I added this cool menu, which is based off of my menu controller that I've shown in other videos. But now I actually have some real UI that can stem out from it. So I can actually, use these sliders to actually adjust the resolution of a sphere that I might add, or I can, do some more advanced stuff with, the same idea with the cylinders. So being able to do this was really nice, because now that I have my UI library in place, building this out was actually a lot quicker and a lot easier than it would be, say if I didn't have some of this stuff ready. So another cool thing that I was able to implement was, you can kind of already see it, how this terrain popped up as a modal. Well, I can actually stack these modals out, so I can actually have cubes go on top of cubes, which go on top of cubes, disable the UI behind them, but then can have like the most foremost slate pop up a message on top of another message on top of another message. So that was really something convenient that I needed. So that stuff is going really well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I could show with the UI. Not really. Lastly but not leastly, one of the absolute coolest things that I've been able to get working so far is the ability to actually move these things around. So if you guys are familiar with Verto Studio, for the iOS version, you are able to use the auto tool, which I have selected there on the toolbar, to just essentially tap something and then swipe over it with your finger on the touchscreen to start moving it around. I wanted to replicate that experience on the HoloLens, and by using the I think they call it the manipulation gesture, I am able to essentially grab something and with 3D move it in all three directions. The first time I did this, it actually felt so cool that the whole idea of this entire project and what I'm trying to do started to completely make sense to me, and I started to get really excited. I mean, being able to do this is the reason why I'm building a 3D modeling tool on Holographic. and I'm just really excited about that. I mean, like I said, the first time I did this, I was able to play around with it for a few minutes and just get really excited. And I mean, it gets even cooler than that. You could take these things out of the scene and actually start colliding them into the wall. I mean, I could take this 3D model and just put it entirely in the wall and bring it back. I've had, you know, donuts sticking out of my couch before. I mean, everything that I've been trying to do, it's just coming completely together. And like I said, I'm really excited about that. So I don't have it running on the device right now, but even yesterday I started getting some of the other components for rotate and scale, at least visually rendering on the device, on the emulator, so that's been going well. So that's kind of where the project is right now. Super excited about it. You know, I got a lot of the hard stuff is really kind of out of the way for me, so I'm just going to keep, you know, kind of building out the object mode, which is this blue toolbar and everything it can do over the next couple weeks, getting it really solid so that you can at least mess with whole objects any which way you want. And then once that's ready, I'll probably start moving into the actual edit mode where you start manipulating the vertices and polygons. But this project's coming along really nicely, and I thank you guys for following along, and hopefully when it starts getting ready to be officially released, you know, I can put it on the store and people can actually get it. So, alright guys, that's it for this week. I'll follow this with a couple more video demos, kind of what I used to do in these videos, which is just documenting the process as it was being developed. So.